Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com, helping you create something awesome today. So in this video, we're going to talk about the equipment slash gear that you need to get started on YouTube or produce YouTube content. So if you guys didn't know, I actually shoot all of my YouTube videos on the Nikon D3200. It is a DSLR video camera. A video camera is one of the things you definitely need to start your YouTube videos. Now, you don't have to shoot on DSLR like I do, but I would recommend that if you want this kind of production value and quality. So you need a camera, whether it's a DSLR or not. You need a dedicated form of audio, whether that be a lapel microphone like the one I use, or a shotgun microphone, or something else. Or maybe you use a wireless microphone instead of a wired lapel mic. Maybe you have a condenser microphone, depending on the style of YouTube videos you might be doing. You might have something like I have with the Audio Technica setup for if you're doing podcast style, or if you're doing tutorials and you don't have your face on camera. Maybe you have screen recordings or game capture. Maybe you're using a headset with headphones. Maybe that's what you're doing. But you need some type of dedicated audio setup to guarantee the quality the same way you would your video quality. The other thing that's going to improve your video quality is lighting. Lighting often is going to make or break the quality of your video. I'm using a $120 or $150 lighting kit. I'm using spider lights. I will have links to all this stuff in the description below. In fact, the description for my exact YouTube setup, all of those links for Amazon can be found in descriptions of my videos, but I'm going to have some specific links to the recommendations of other things I talk about, because we're not talking about my setup. We're talking about a typical YouTube setup. There can be YouTube setups for any budget, and I will do dedicated videos to that, but you could use your smartphone if you wanted to. Stabilization is another thing you need. You need tripods. You need monopods if you're on the go. You might, if you're shooting documentary style, you might need a shoulder rig and mount, like I use for some of my cosplay stuff. But having some kind of stabilization if you're using a phone, instead of doing handheld selfies with a bunch of camera shake, you get an $18 hand grip that lets you do like this, and then you can stabilize the video as you take your selfies and not have all that crazy camera shake going on. So you can do that. If you're shooting on a DSLR like I am, use a tripod. If you're doing it outdoors and you're walking around, maybe use a selfie stick or a monopod. You could do that. So there are definitely options there. Stabilization is important for your videos. Maybe you don't want to use a smartphone. Maybe you don't want to use a DSLR camera. Can you use camcorders? Yes, and they do shoot longer content. Sometimes they have better lenses for low light situation without you having to switch out the lenses. That can be helpful. It depends on how much the camera you buy is. When I first got started on YouTube, I was using Sony HD bloggy cams. The quality on them was okay for what it was for indoor shooting and outdoor shooting and for doing vlog style videos. They were maybe around $100 to $200. That's what I could afford at the time. This was like 6-7 years ago. So I mean, that is an option that you could go with, and some of those types of cameras are more advanced today and they do very well. One of the other things you need to consider for your videos is if you're doing a lot of content like me and you need to back up and store it, you need some kind of external hard drive. In my case, one of the things I'm using now is the MyCloud Mirror from Western Digital. This is letting me back up my video files and access them remotely, so if I need to grab them, edit them, put together a reel while I'm on the road, I can do that. You guys know I shoot Nikon, but Canon has some tremendous solutions for YouTubers. If you want to use their camcorders, those are fine. The XL series is very good for documentary. And so is the GL if you want to go old school. But those cameras are still viable, and you can get them very affordably today, especially on eBay and Amazon. Again, you can use the Canon Rebel DSLR series. You can use the Rebel T4i, T5i. I know some people are still throwing the T3i, but that camera is like 4 years old. There are two new generations. You don't need the Canon Rebel T3i when you can get the 4 or the 5. And those have the flip out and the touchscreen, and those are great, and they have better focusing, better image quality, better in-camera stabilization for when you're on the go. So get the newer models where you can. The cost difference is not that much. And for the cost of the T3i, you get a new Nikon D3300, which is going to be far superior, or even a D5500, which is the newest model for the entry level with the flip out screen. So I would recommend getting any of those, and I'll have links in the description below for that. For microphones, I'm using a Sony lapel mic. I have it clipped on a way where you can't see it, because I'm clever enough to do that and make my videos just better by doing that, in my opinion. But there are other solutions. If you're going to do some super advanced stuff where you have 2 interviewers, you might want to get a wireless microphone solution. For you YouTube gamers, you need to think about, what headsets make sense for you to use for your recording, and if you decide you want to do that, you might need a mixer too. Also, for you guys, you're going to need an Elgato game capture if you're worried about capturing gameplay. So keep that in mind. If you're doing screen recording on a PC or a Mac, then you need to get the appropriate screen recording software, for your particular setup and system. For lighting, if you can't invest the $150 in the lighting kit that I have, honestly, I want to invest more. I want to invest maybe another $500 in lights because I'm still having to shoot at ISO 400 or 800 for these videos when I could be shooting lower if I had more light. So I would say, get as many lights as you can to really, give you options in terms of that if you're using a DSLR camera and get maximum quality. More light is always going to be better for the most part, unless you're outdoor and you have overpowering sun, and that creates issues. But I would say, go with as many lights as you can, but if you need to go on the discount route, you can either use lamps or you can use some Neewer, and that's spelled Neewer. You can use some lights from them. I use that when I'm on the go and I mount it directly onto my DSLR camera, but you can get some light stands that we usually use for flashes and photography, screw them right on there, and then you can get a $50 lighting setup or something like that going that's completely mobile. And I'm going to be using that as a mobile video setup when I can't bring these light stands with me and plug them into a wall. So that is an option, and those are totally battery powered, so you can definitely go that route as well, and it will save you money. Again, links to that will be in the description below. For microphones, again, I'm using the lapel. You can go wireless. You can go with a shotgun mic that you can mount on there for when you're doing documentary style, running and gunning, or when you have multiple people in the room and you need to capture that, or you need background noise for something. I go with either Taxstar or Audio-Technica for that. Rode is definitely a great option. I'm looking at getting something from them. So those are all within different budgets, anywhere from $30 to $100 to $250, and those links will be in the description below as well, so you can check those out and get the thing that's appropriate for your situation and your budget. So I've covered lights, I've covered stabilization. I'm using what is probably a $50 tripod. You can get them for $15. I have monopods of various different price ranges that I use. I have DSLR shoulder rigs. I have a DSLR fly cam, and I'll have links to that in the description. But those are more for like on the go, running and gunning, outdoors, actiony kind of things. You could even get a jib and crane. Kessler makes a great one. So, again, those links will be there. But understand that I've covered the basics of what you need. The basics of what you need are a tripod, the proper mounts for it, a camera, a microphone of some kind, and a recording system, a lighting kit, and then you're good to go. Obviously, you need editing software, and then you need something like the MyCloud or any kind of external hard drive to back up your files. The MyCloud will let you access them from anywhere you need to, so that is my recommendation. And I think that those things will work out for you. If you build a great YouTube system for that infrastructure, you'll be able to do what I do, which is I can put out quality content every day because of the type of tools I have in my arsenal, my army of awesome, if you will, to be able to do that. I can do that every day because I can just flip on these lights, turn on the camera, load in my memory cards, pop out extra batteries whenever I need to, and just go. And know that the quality is going to be there and that I have the things that I need. So, depending on your budget, you can build a quality setup from anywhere. I would say from maybe, if you have a phone already, you could go $200 investment and have something very nice that will work relatively well, or you can go to the high end, well beyond that, or you can go somewhere in between like I did, and it might cost you cheaper. You might be able to do it around between $500 and $1,000 for a quality YouTube setup. But bear in mind that it's going to be great return on investment for you if you do it right and if you're consistent and put out quality stuff on YouTube. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this walkthrough on YouTube setups for different budgets. I will go into specifics on maybe something like a $250 setup, a $500, a $1,000, a $2,000 in later videos. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today.